or if your kid is in the middle of assaulting someone,
Yeah,
and then the
yeah.
teacher fucking
I
grabs him from
sexually
behind.
assaulted my classmate. And
I,
you're like,
I
oh
was in the
fuck.
middle of sexually assaulting my classmate, and then my teacher
Yeah.
choked me out.
All
What
of
the
a
fuck?
sudden, like I don't know why,
Yeah. Like, yeah,
and
what
you're
the
like,
hell?
motherfucker, like my kid is a fucking demon. Like what the fuck? It says spanking as a disciplinary measure must only be used as a last resort when other means of discipline have failed, and then only in reasonable form and upon the recommendation of the principal. So the teacher is gonna be like, Juanito, he's like being a bad kid. Just give me a second, class. Let me go ask the principal if I can beat the shit out of Juanito.
Yeah, and it's vague as fuck. I think that's what it.
Oh yeah, dude. There's gonna be problems. Like you already
Yeah,
know.
even that's even problematic among parents. Like sometimes,
Yeah.
moms and dads, or moms and moms, or dads and dads, argue among each other. Like, oh, like don't take authority away from me in front of the kid, right?
Hmm.
I can't even imagine if the parents themselves have issues applying physical discipline. I can't even imagine the teacher. Like, what's the threshold? Oh, like he or she answered back.
Right.
Like, what would be the threshold to allow that? I know. Let me see. Yeah, I
It,
was about to say, because I think there was another state that was requiring, and yeah, I read here that schools must secure written parental consent beforehand.
Hmm.
So it's
but
not just like,
is it all grade levels or is it just kids?
Actually, it doesn't say. It just says that the school
Right?
district.
It just says
Yeah.
the school district,
I
so
would,
that would
yeah.
mean so they could do this to like a high schooler.
Hmm. Yeah, it doesn't say. Um, but then again, I mean, what?
I was gonna say, I would assume it's for elementary schools, because I don't think you could grab a 16-year-old and spank
Like I was
him.
about to say, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I guarantee, I'll tell you this much, man. Like, I try to have a lot of respect for authority. Like, I believe in hierarchies. Like, if you're a player in a team, like, I respect the coach, I respect my teachers. Like, you lay a hand on me, I'm gonna beat your ass. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, if you're my teacher and you lay a hand on
Hmm.
me, because for our confrontations to evolve or devolve into fucking physical altercations, that fucking relationship is down the drain.
Yeah.
So I don't believe in violence. I don't think it's a way to discipline people. So if you're gonna fucking lay your hands on me, like, all right, then all bets are off. I'm gonna beat your ass. I don't give a fuck if you're my coach or if you're my teacher.
Hmm.
And I thought that at 16. Like, I don't think I would have allowed that at 16.
Yeah. No. Fuck no.
And I don't know, like to me it's like I know people would always joke about it and say like no, kids nowadays just need like a good ass beating or something, or like oh like you can tell who didn't spank their kids and stuff. But it's like I feel like it's one thing if it's like a parent doing it, but this isn't like parent. It's
Yeah.
basically a stranger,
Hmm.
punishing this this kid, and it's so vague. You don't even know what they did or what they could have done and stuff. But I don't know, like I'm putting myself in that position. I'm like, I don't think I would like sign that to
Hmm.
allow like the teachers or staff, whoever's gonna do it, to hit my kid. Like if anyone's gonna hit my kid, it's gonna be me.
Right. And
Yeah.
and that's the like at least to me, I think that's the proper way of like discipline a child. Like it starts at home. It's not. I don't think you can expect your kid to learn discipline at school. Like it shouldn't be learned at school. It should be learned like at home. The kid should be like learning other stuff at school, not discipline. Discipline should come from home. So if you want to discipline your kid, I think it should be at home. um I'm a believer that fucking slap on the butt, it's okay for me. It's totally okay. um Going beyond that, I don't think it's fair. But I do believe that enforcing and using a little bit of strength on the kid, it's worth it. Like they learn to, like, if I do this and my dad or my mom gets mad and they fucking give me slap me with a chancla or whatever, like, next time I probably won't do it because it hurt. um but to do that at school, even though from stories from my parents, I know that back in the day, at least in Mexico, it was pretty brutal. Like, I remember my mom told me that they used to do. She had one teacher that used to do. The kids will have to kneel down, and at the bottom on the floor, they will put the little, like, caps from the sodas,
Yeah,
like
from the
with
from
the
the glass
spikes.
bottles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
facing up. So you will have to kneel down on top of it, and then stay there for a while. That shit hurt. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't done that, but that sounds like it hurts as a motherfucker. So back in the day, they were pretty brutal. Also, another thing they used to do to the women, um, the teachers will leave their nails long. So if they had to discipline a female, they will do this with their nails on the top of their head, like this, boom. So,
Yeah.
like, right now, that sounds crazy as fuck, but that's how they used to do it back in the
Yeah,
day.
but that's how they did it back then. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and the sideburn one for the
Oh yeah.
males,
Hmm.
where they would just
They would
fucking
just,
grab your sideburn and just pull on
Yeah.
it.
and just pull it.
Right, man, me voy
Um,
pelón, dude. I will fucking, like.
Right? Like just shave your head.
I mean, is there evidence that corporal punishment works at the school level like that? Because I mean, how do you even quantify that? Pieces of shit
Right.
exist throughout time. You can't say, oh, back in the day, bro, like that's why people were more respectful, more disciplined. Like, were they though? I
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
I know, fucking subhuman, depraved pieces of shit for every fucking age group. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't see. I don't think you could justify it. In fact, it's not even to me. It's not even about school or not school. I mean, maybe because I didn't experience it. Like, I wasn't beat as a kid.
Hmm.
My mom never believed in that, and I mean, I'm not a what do you call it? A hobo drug addict. So I think, I mean, I know that's a low threshold, but I
Yeah.
turned out okay. I would assume. Like, I try to be as respectful as I can, as civilized as I can, and I mean, I never got my ass beat, so I don't think. Um, I just don't believe in corporal punishment in any sense. I understand that there's parents that, like Rene said, like a spanking,
Hmm.
a pinch, but once you cross that threshold of like brutal ass beatings, like I think that crosses the line whether you're a parent or not.
Yeah.
Mm.
And to expect, I mean, to leave that, um to give the teachers that opportunity of, like, going
Yeah,
wild with your kid, that's fucking stupid. Like, because there's gonna be a case where the
Where
teacher
they
probably doesn't like your kid, even though your kid's not doing
we're
anything bad.
humans, man. Yeah,
They're gonna
yeah.
fucking go at it.
And I was about to say that I'm like, watch, they're gonna allow this until someone takes it too
Yeah.
far.
Hmm.
And I mean, how often do we hear like of police brutality and stuff like
Yeah.
that?
Now
Now we're gonna
you're
have
gonna hear
teacher
teacher brutality. Yeah.
brutality. It's like you spank. It's like you're supposed to spank the kid. You hit him
Right.
in the head or something. You know, like
And
it's
it says on the article, like, it's hitting I believe the face and the head or something like that. It's not allowed. Like, they had to
yeah,
write that down.
yeah. No, and
they
to
had
be
to be
honest, like if
specific.
yeah, like if I'm at an age where I could defend myself, I don't give a fuck how many forms my mom signed. Like, you lay a hand on me, I'm gonna beat your ass.
So
your team. Like I don't give a
they
shit.
tell you like, no, no, hey, don't defend yourself because look, your
Your
mom like
mom,
she
I don't give
signed
a
this,
fuck.
Yeah,
and you're like,
I
same.
don't
oh,
give two
okay, yeah,
fucks.
like you can
All
beat
right,
the
cool.
shit out of
I'll
me.
accept the consequences. Like if you take me to juvie, whatever. Like cool, I'll
Hmm.
go. But the fucking ass beating I'll give you, like no
Hmm.
one's gonna take it away from me. Like I don't give a
Mm.
fuck. You're not gonna lay a hand on me. Oh, but your mom,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. When we get home, like she could beat my ass. All right, cool. I'll just fucking run away. I don't give a shit. But you're not gonna lay a hand on me. I'm gonna beat your ass. Uh, but it says that 19. I don't understand this. 19 states allow it, and Texas is among them. In my time in school, I don't remember. I don't
Like they
remember
already
anything having
allow
to
it.
do. The states that allow corporal punishment include, and there's a list, and Texas is in it.
Oh no, and I never
Mm.
saw like any kind of. I mean, I came
What
here
I
when I was in high school, but like didn't see any teacher hitting
Nah, I've been
the
here since
fucking
elementary,
students.
bro, and I don't
Mm.
remember any of that.
Yeah, same.
What I think, um,
I saw teachers hitting on students, but like that's nothing.
yeah, not hitting students. You know, maybe because I would assume by corporal punishment, is like when they use those paddles to like hit you.
Yeah.
Mm.
I just never remember that in school. Yeah, some still use corporal punishment, and Texas is among them because I could still see how someone can twist it. Hey, like if your coach thinks you're fucking up, they could make you
Make
run
it.
laps
Hmm.
Yeah.
or do push-ups or whatever. Like maybe that's included in the corporal punishment section. Maybe that's the only way I could imagine that making sense. Because other than that, I just can't remember a time where I witnessed someone getting their asses beat.
And
Nor
you
do
know
I
what?
remember.
Uh, Sorry for our generation. I think we didn't. We started. I don't know if we started seeing or it was already there. The change in the view of the back in the day. I know that the teachers was like the maximum authority. Like the
Yeah,
parents were really like polite to them, and they will be like, do whatever you want with the kid. Like he's in your hands. Um,
yeah,
but when we went to school, that wasn't the case. It was more of the teachers responding to the parents. You will see a lot of the parents getting mad at them and like asking them why you're doing this, why you're doing that. So there was a shift. I don't know at what year or what decade it changed, but it was different. So I think the teachers were already had like in mind that I'm not gonna get in trouble. Like if I do something
yeah.
to a kid, I'm gonna get like in trouble. I'm probably gonna get fired. So there was also that we had a different perspective on that relationship between the student, the teacher, and the parent.
To go back to you said that Texas allowed corporal punishment. You think it might be like for like there's private schools that might have still done it because those go by like a whole different set of rules and stuff.
Maybe.
It could be like that. The fucking monjitas are beating your ass and shit.
I was gonna
Right.
say like maybe those Christian schools or Catholic schools maybe
Yeah,
they
they
do
still do
that.
that thing where you put your hand
Mhm.
on the desk and they hit you with the ruler, the
Yeah,
middle fingers or
you
something.
put your hand on the priest. No, no, never mind.
Yeah, all right.
Different punishment.
Different punishment. Yeah.
Yeah.
In Texas, bro, I just don't remember this shit. In Texas, corporal punishment in public schools
Hmm.
is considered lawful unless a parent or a legal guardian has refused to give permission with a signed written statement to the school board. Wait, so that's the why the fuck would that be
So
the default? Yeah, we're gonna
yeah,
beat your kid's ass unless you go through the trouble of
Yeah.
signing a letter.
giving us a yeah. I guess
You know
that's
what?
where
Maybe it's one of those rules that people forgot about. And now that we're
yeah.
saying this, we're gonna see cases in Texas.
I
Teachers
know,
are gonna be
right?
like, "Oh, I can do that! Oh shit!"
um, I mean, y'all know teachers in personal life. Do you see them like beating someone's ass over anything?
Hell
No,
no,
at all.
no. That and like I wouldn't be surprised if like the students like overpower the teacher,
Yeah.
even like if they're elementary kids. Because I remember like when I was in sixth grade, some of these guys that would play like basketball and football, like I mean they were tall kids, So some of them were about the same height as like the teacher, and then
Yeah.
that, and these teachers were already like in their like 60s and stuff. Like they had
Yeah.
already been teaching for years, and so I can't picture any one of them trying to like hit him, because
Mhm.
I honestly think that kid would overpower him and then just take the paddle or whatever it is they were using and then just use it against them or something.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, I asked, like, for the like if it was specifically elementary or no, they could do this at any grade level. But then I realized, well, no, it doesn't really matter. Like, I think if you get a big enough kid, or even if it's just an athlete, like they could probably just take the paddle.
Yeah.
I've never even seen a paddle in real life. Like I don't think I ever saw a classroom with a paddle in it.
Yeah. So,
No.
And also, we got to understand that culture, like Rene said, culture does change, and there's teachers that even if they have that ability, like they're not going to do that shit.
They
Number
won't,
one,
yeah.
for I don't want to get
Mhm.
my ass beat by some of these fucking students, and number two, like I just
Yeah.
don't believe in that. I don't think that's
Yeah.
the way to discipline a child. Like, you know that as a teenager, especially if you're like forming your opinions and shit, and you wanna, if you don't believe in that shit, would you really just stand idle as like one of your classmates is bent over getting their fucking ass beat by a teacher? Like
Mhm.
I think that would start a fucking revolt in the classroom.
Yeah. I mean, it depends.
Not saying
It depends
that
on the
they're
student.
like,
It depends on the student.
nah, you know
For
that
someone, I'll
students
be
are,
like, fuck it, that guy.
nah, bro, you know that students, I'm not saying that they're doing it for heroic reasons. Half of the students might,
Mhm.
but you know that students are just fucking waiting
Yeah, yeah.
for any little spark to just fuck shit up.
Like
Because they're
like
going to
in
see it.
sports.
Yeah, they're going to see it as a fucking excuse.
Hmm.
Hey, why did you fuck that up? Oh, well, because the teacher was beating my classmate and I
Yeah.
wasn't going to allow that. I don't think there's some motherfucker in school that I went with that I could tell you that I would be like, yeah, I'd be cool with them getting their ass beat by the teacher. I mean, I
And,
could get,
and then they're like, "Hey, why did you get involved?" And like, no, because I saw like the teacher like beating like one of my classmates, and they're like, "Yeah, but like you hit it like another teacher, like he wasn't even involved, like you fucking beat the crap out of someone else, like the PE teacher."
yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. Or, you know, as with, I don't know if you'd be okay if as parents, like if your kid gets home, oh, my teacher beat my ass.
No,
Like you
dude.
think you think your first reaction would be, well, what did you do? Would that be like your follow up?
I think I had
Maybe
said, or
like
like,
I would probably ask like at first, but I would probably be like, I'm beating the shit out of this teacher, but I would be like, what the fuck did you do?
it's like, I'm not saying he didn't deserve it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just saying I would have beat the shit out of him, because I think I had
Yeah.
said at the start of the conversation that I'm like, I wouldn't want the teacher to do it. Like, shit, I'll kick his ass, But
yeah,
but what did he do? That
yeah.
deserved
But like,
the
why though? Like, what
like, yeah.
happened?
And I think we had said like the rule is deliberately vague, so you don't know if it's like, oh, you were caught like copying on a
Mhm.
test. Oh, that's a paddling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, you were running in the hallways. That's 2 licks. Like,
Yeah.
how does it work?
Yeah, I mean, and I guess you do ask because like the only way you could get like maybe of a teacher separating a fight, or if your kid is in the middle of assaulting someone,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
the teacher fucking
I
grabs him from
sexually
behind.
assaulted my classmate. And you're like,
I
oh
was in the
fuck.
middle of sexually assaulting,
No.
assaulting my classmate, and then my teacher
Yeah.
choked me out.
All
What
of
the
a
fuck?
sudden, like I don't know why.
Like,
And you're like,
hell?
what the fuck? Like my kid is a fucking demon. Like what the fuck?
The only thing I ever saw, it was that we had to do the state test, and during the test, I think this was 5th grade. One kid fell asleep on his desk like that, and the teacher walked by, saw that he was asleep during the test, and just gave him a sope, just bah, like loud, and we all heard and we all saw, and we're like trying not to laugh in the middle of the test. And I didn't think anything about it because I thought it was funny. But now that we're talking about this, I remembered it, and I'm like, wait a second, she just hit this kid,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't even do anything. He was just
Yeah.
asleep, and it's not, and that when you do these state tests, it's an all day thing. You can take as long as you want. So it's not like there's a time limit and it's like, hey, hurry up, kid, you better do
Yeah.
it. Like, just let him sleep. And if he wakes up late, pues ni modo, that's on him, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's the closest I think I got to seeing, like, like a spanking, I guess,
Yeah.
or punishment. Um, as far as my parents go, they didn't hit me because I had an older brother. So he was the guinea pig.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
he's the one that I can't remember. I think it was that like I don't know, he left like a toy like on the ground and my dad told him like, hey, pick it up, and he just went no.
No.
And then my dad got him and like spanked him and went, recógelo, and he's like,
Mm-hmm.
no.
Oh
And then he
shit.
hit him again, but harder. And he's like, lo vas a recoger? And my brother, no. And he just took the hits.
Damn.
It wasn't until my mom stepped in and went, just stop. Like,
Yeah.
goddamn, like, he's not going to do it. Like, just
Yeah.
leave him alone. And so my brother, like, survived the hits.
Mm-hmm.
And so I honestly think, like, going back to it, it's like, well, would a kid like learn from this if someone hits him? It's like, no, because what if you have some fucking rebel like my brother that just takes the beatings
Yeah, that's true.
and then doesn't learn from it?
He enjoys it.
Right. But my
Yeah.
brother grew up okay. I want to add that
Yeah.
he's doing fine. But again, like, yeah, like it boils back to like I just don't think it works. But I don't know. Maybe a child psychologist or someone with some type of expertise can let us know in the
Yeah,
comments
leave it
or
in the comments below.
something.
Was
Hasta pa'
your
allá.
mom the authority in the house?
Um, I wouldn't. Yes, but only because my dad was a truck driver,
Oh, okay.
so he was rarely home.
Yeah.
So she
Mhm.
had to be like by default. She had to be.
Oh, okay.
And my like when growing up as a teenager, because my dad started. I don't remember too much when I was a kid because that's when he was home. When he became a truck driver, by the time I was gonna hit my teens.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I would see him like once a week at most.
Mm.
And I want to be clear, like I don't say this like with resentment, like hey man, like my dad wasn't a doctor and shit
Yeah.
that could be home like all day every, like he had to fucking bust his ass to work. So I don't say it like with any sort of resentment, but it is what it is. Like I wouldn't see him as often. So my mom had to step in and be like the authority figure
Yeah.
of both. Like my mom taught me how to shave. Like it got to that point. Like my mom is the one that when I started growing out my beard showed me how to shave. So yeah, so when my dad was home, like no, pues dile a tu mamá, right? Because
Right.
he knew that she was the one that was kind of like raising us on our own.
Mhm.
But yeah, so no, she always tried to reason with us like adults. So I don't see if she spanked us, bro. It might have been like twice in our lifetime,
Yeah.
and it was one of those spanks where she wanted to, and then was refraining herself as she was doing it, so she would,
Mm.
barely pop it in there. So nah, like my mom wouldn't. Like we can never say like, oh, we got beat at home, because that was just not true.
Yeah, I probably got a
And
few spankings, but like I don't really remember. It was probably when I
like
was like
belts and shit like that.
no, just like something with a hand on your butt or something like that. Just, but I don't really remember because when I started like growing up, it was only like you said, she would try to like make me understand what was wrong,
Yeah.
what I was doing was wrong, and in my house, yeah, she was the one with authority. Like if someone was gonna ground me, it was my mom. My dad was
Yeah.
just easy going. Like you will
Yeah.
go to
Chill.
him if you wanted. If you if you if my mom didn't let me do something, you will go. I will go to my dad just
He
to,
was
to
like
have
the
that.
permission one.
Hey, my dad said yes because my dad will always say yes. But
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, it was my mom. My mom will have the final word, And if I was doing something wrong, she will be the one to let me know that I was doing it
Discipline.
wrong.
Yeah.
And in regards to school, the grades and everything, she was the one that was always behind me. Um, but I mean, to be honest, I wasn't like a bad kid when I was
Yeah, like a troublemaker.
a troublemaker. And on top of that, I have one brother, but he's 11 years older than me. So it wasn't like we were both kids and we were making like desmadre at
Yeah.
home. It was just me playing with my toys. So there wasn't a lot of opportunity to be a bad kid.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was my mom, the one that she was the one in charge of stuff. And I I mean, I've seen this with my nephews. Um, when we have them over, uh, we she will do that. She will try to, if they're like acting bad, she will do the hey, like understand what's wrong with what you're doing. But sometimes they get in the mood because they're like 2 years apart. So if they start playing, they get rowdy. Like
Yeah.
sometimes it gets out of hand. They start screaming, doing this and that. And my mom now's the grandma, and I don't know if you've seen that when they're grandmas, it's totally different than when
Yeah.
you were a kid. You're like, what the? Why are you letting them do this? Like, what the fuck? Uh, you're all like, you get mad because you're like, this shit wasn't allowed when I was a kid. Um,
Yeah.
so now, if it's just me and her, I'm the one that's, hey, cut the shit out because and I've done it a few times. I'm a little in the butt, boom, and they understand because that's like the final thing. Like, if they didn't listen to my mom, they didn't listen to me. I started yelling. The final thing is I'm gonna fucking slap you in the butt, and that's the
Yeah.
thing that lets them know, like, oh, okay, that's it. Like, I reached
Yeah.
the end. But
How old
I've
are they?
and one is 7 and the other one's 5.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I thought you were gonna say one is
one
24,
is
the other one's
24,
22.
and yeah, and the other guy's in jail. No, but like
The
the
spankings didn't
The
work.
the one
see?
I didn't spank. The one I didn't
right,
spank. You
well,
see?
it's
Oh,
fine. Yeah.
okay. There we
So
go.
there's
There we
you can
go.
add it to the
To
to the
the
data.
there we go.
No, but you see that shit with grandmas, it's totally different. It gets me mad. I'm like, what the fuck? I kind of understand it. Like, it's way different now. It's just like, let me enjoy them. And when you were a kid, no, let me teach them how's
Mhm.
life.
I would assume that you sometimes don't see the flaws in your own kids.
Oh yeah.
Like other kids annoy you, but when it's your kids, like, oh, they're not that bad, even though they're like shit.
Hmm.
It's an assumption though. Like I just don't know.
No, but I mean, I see it with my mom. Like, she will be like, she will let them do
Ay,
something
mi hijo está bien
that they wouldn't
chulo.
let another kid in the street do. You know what I mean? Like, they
Yeah.
will get mad and be like, look at you little fucker doing that. And at home, she will be like, hey, déjalos. Like, they're
Yeah.
kids. And I'm like, that's the same shit. Right? Why are you
Or,
letting them do this and not the other kids? But it
yeah,
happens.
yeah.
It happens.
No, you're blind. I'm pretty sure she would also say like, mira ese pinche huerco
Sí,
feo. And
pinche
then, ay,
meco.
mi ranita René tan chulo. Mira nomás.
Funny thing about because in just like a little backstory, a little story that
Okay.
traumatized me when I was a kid.
Okay.
Um, for people that don't know, in Spanish, Kermit the Frog, it's René la Rana. I think I said
Mm-hmm.
in one of the podcasts. Um, maybe I told this story already. Fuck. So when I was in school, like in elementary, the principal will call me La Rana Rene, and that will be so fucking annoying to me. Like,
Yeah.
because he wouldn't do it in a bad way, but it's one of those things where you're
Yeah.
like,
Like
shut the
a little
fuck up.
nickname.
Like,
Like a term of endearment
if
almost.
my friends hear that shit, they will start calling me La Rana Rene, and I'm like, you don't want that. Like, fuck that
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Uh, so I will be mad with my parents, like, why the fuck will you name me Rene? Like, why? Like, what was the reason for it? Like, I don't have any other like abuelitos or called Rene. Like, I'm the first one in the family called Rene. Like, why? And they were like, I don't know. Like, we saw. They don't even remember. Wait, they saw it somewhere, and they were like, that sounds good. Like, that sounds like a good name. And they decided on it. And then I remember, like, back in the day, I would tell my mom, like, why would you name me something normal. And I had a friend that was his name was Gustavo. I was like, well, why name me something normal like Gustavo? They were like, that isn't like that normal, like, and it's kind of boring. Like, yeah, but like it's not Rene. Like they won't call me La Rana Gustavo because that doesn't exist. um, and then years later, my brother has his first son, and he names him Gustavo because he remembers that I will always ask them to name me Gustavo, and they'll be like, "Fuck it." So when my nephew grows up, he'll be like, if he for some reason hates his name, I'm gonna be the first one to blame. Like, what the fuck?
Do you have a middle name?
No, it's just Rene. Rene,
Oh,
my
I was
two
gonna
last
say,
names.
please call him like La Rana Gustavo.
La Rana Gustavo, just on purpose.
Start it.
Yeah, I'm gonna start
it.
Like if you would have been given, now that you're an adult, had you
Yeah.
been given the choice to like choose your own name, would you go with something else?
Um,
Or at this point, you kind of
at this
accepted
point,
it?
yeah, and I kind of like it now. I don't know. It's you don't know a lot of Renes.
The only thing is that since there's a rolled R,
Yeah,
when it's in English,
I hate
it's it's pretty
I
much a
hate it.
women's
I
name.
hate it. And I had a teacher in college. She would be like, Rini? Fuck, that would be like.
Yeah,
the
Oh,
se-
no.
le está
It
haciendo
was-
la mamá.
It
This-
was worse than I
the
thought.
the second time she
Que no
called me that,
mames, güey.
'cause the first time I was like, maybe she like, I don't know, she got it wrong or something. The second time she called me Rini, I was like, ma'am, you have to stop. It's Rene. And like, "Oh, are you sure? Like she even
No,
asked me, like,
man.
are you sure?
Like as if you don't know your own
It's
name.
my name. It's my name, like motherfucker. Like 17, 18 years I've lived with my name. Like, and she was like, "Oh, okay,
Bro,
Rene." I'm like,
You actually
Oh
you
my
actually went all
God.
Karen on her ass.
yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
No, he went on Rene.
All Rene on her ass.
On her ass.
You could have addressed it after class. Said like, "Hey, professor, like, I know
No,
that you
no.
called me.
It
I
was-
know that
it
you
was
called me.
one- It's one of those things that I have to stop it now.
No, but professor, like, I know that you called me Rainy like 18 times today. I just want you to know that it's actually Rene. You didn't have to go all Karen, like, oh, ma'am.
No, dude. Like
Like, if I would have been sitting in that class, I would, holy fuck, like, this is so embarrassing. I would have
Like-
been flustered, like,
like,
holy
it-
shit.
like probably if that was before Karen was a thing, like I would probably got it the name like Rene.
The
Like,
name,
don't go all Rene on me.
I would have been, fuck, bro. And then she would have been, oh, okay, sorry. Josie? That would have been me. Okay, now I'm going to go
like
Rene
that
on your
episode
ass.
of Key and Peele, no?
What?
Oh,
Key and Peele where the teacher mentions like
Yeah.
says all the names wrong.
but the wrong.
Yeah, Aaron,
Yeah,
and
that's the one.
the guy will be like, it's Aaron, and he will think that they were messing with him.
Yeah. Holy shit. No, but also like, nah, like I think she was just fucking with you, bro, because I think the reason I brought it up because I think the obvious like Anglo sounding pronunciation of your name would be like Renee, which
The
is,
the thing
like
that made me doubt is that she wasn't from here. She was from up north. I don't know. I don't remember exactly from where. And that's why I was like, maybe like over there. But
yeah,
like,
le hace la mamá. So up north, she's never heard Renee.
I mean, I don't know.
God, get the fuck out of here. Especially because it's not like you have. So, okay, this is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not like you have a sign on you that says
Right.
Renee. So she sees you. Oh, it's a guy. So I'm pretty sure it's not Renee. Let me try another. No, she read it on a fucking paper, not knowing who
Yeah.
you were. That could have easily been like a woman. It could have been Renee. Like, why would she? Why? I cannot understand the logic how she fucking got to that conclusion. Yeah, this is probably Rini. Like, that makes absolutely no fucking sense.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Like, but like the second time she called me, I was like, hey, stop, bitch.
Bro, I would have been so embarrassed. Like, holy fuck. Or I would have called you out. Hey, can you address this after class? And
So you
during
were the Karen.
and not during our class time. I'm paying for this, please. Or Biden will pay for it in 8 years.
God, you're being such a Rene.
Such a Rene, dude. Such a Rini.
Such a Reedy. Carini? Hey, it's
Carini.
blending there, bro.
Carini.
Carini. But how did we? I don't know. Yeah, like, hey, like imagine if corporal punishment would have been legal at that point at a college
Right.
level. Ma'am, it's Rene, not Rini. Rini, come here.
Yeah.
Fucking start whooping your ass. And I think that's
Why
one of
don't
those
you
times where I would have
explain this to
allowed
my
it. Like,
paddle?
holy fuck.
Why don't you explain this to my paddle, bitch?
Yeah, and that would have been one of those times where I actually wouldn't have interviewed. Like, holy fuck, bro. Fucking Rini brought it upon himself.